Alright guys, welcome to this live stream recording of me just going through some tech stuff. Today we are going to talk about top AI models. I've been working on actually a little Figma board where I basically list out all the latest tools. These are all the latest tools I'll be talking about: Codex, Replit, Cloud, Cursor, Figma Make. These are like vibe coding tools. Codex being the latest, Replit being good for just general prototype creation and being able to deploy from your browser. Let's just see how it goes. So you basically enter in your prompt right here, and actually it helps if you do this little trick. Create a Replit prompt for a SaaS app that does advanced news and sentiment tracking for crypto. Let's just try this. So basically, Cloud is really good for coding stuff, and I also like Cloud because it's much more private than ChatGPT. I had a problem with ChatGPT because they essentially the AI bot told me that it was private, and I did ask quite a few times in the first year that I was using it when it was first launched. And then a few years later, after I'd given all my sensitive info to it, I checked the settings, which I probably should have done earlier on, but the AI bot told me that it was fine. And I realized that the settings has been basically training the model and making it better for everyone. So with my private data, so I was a bit pissed off. I wrote an email to OpenAI, a formal complaint email, and I got a response from them, which was really generic and quite disappointing, to be honest. So yeah, it's basically yeah, the complaint is about a lack of informed consent, misrepresentation of how my data was handled, a violation of data protection principles, particularly transparency and user control. So I was kind of pissed about that. Anyway, back to Replit. This little trick can make your Replit vibe coding creation process much better. So as you can see here, this is the features of the app at a really high level. Sorry, these are the features based on our little initial prompt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna come to Replit and paste it here. Just say make me this. Yeah, I think it would be nice if it were, yeah, let's just stick to a web SaaS for now. So yeah, basically under apps you have, these are all the projects I've worked on. But essentially, Replit will create the app. It's doing its thing. While it's doing its thing, let's go through some models. So models are like large language models. There's also like other kinds of models like multimodal models and other specialized models. But GPT-5 is the latest. GPT-4o is what I've been using, but to my knowledge, GPT-5 is the latest. So Cloud 3.7 Sonnet is what is powering Cloud, and these are the two, Haiku and Opus, I don't really use. Gemini Ultra 2 is Google's basically Google's model, and Llama 3.1 is Meta's most powerful open source model. So actually there's this thing called OpenWebUI, which is basically a UI for your large language model. So it's basically like a chat interface, very similar to ChatGPT, and it's where you can essentially load up your models and use that UI to drive the model, to run the model, to get results, to chat to it. Okay, let's go back to Replit. As you can see, this is the name of the app that Replit has came up with, and these are some suggestions as to what you can add in addition to the prompt that we have just given it. Sorry. So let's see, add news sources and social media integration. This is cool. So price correlation with sentiment data. This sounds cool too. Alerts. Okay, let's do this. Approve plan and start. So basically, Replit's now gonna build me this thing, and it's gonna use up this thing called tokens, which is essentially with the current plan I have a limited number of tokens, but every time you do some kind of operation here, it uses up tokens. So just think of it like gas or something, but yeah, it's essentially like internet money. So this is where was I? Okay, we were at the models. So that's basically an overview of all these models. These other models are more to do with like vision and there's specialized models for different things. Like for example, Sora is text to video generation, and there's some others for speech and stuff. So basically, if you are working with models, if you are creating applications, especially if you're just doing vibe coding, basically what you would need to do is connect to the API of these models. OpenWebUI can help because there is an API function. So basically how it works is you load the model into OpenWebUI, which basically looks like this. And there is an API that allows you to access the model that you have loaded into this. So your models can also be run locally, which is another big plus, especially if you're concerned about privacy maybe. So yeah. So tada, here is the crypto sentiment dashboard. I can see that it's giving me some test data. Bitcoin positive, XRP negative at the moment. Let's just see if it's okay. It's not okay, so it's just giving me a really nothing's clickable at the moment. I think it's still building, but I just want to ask the agent, the sentiment is the sentiment data pulling live info from the internet latest in real time, because that's important. And let's see, okay, good, they got this last 24 hours as well, which is a good one. Any errors here? So you see, you can create all sorts of dashboards pretty easily for your own purposes, and you can also make it a SaaS. You can essentially even add payments to this, so you can charge people for using the platform that you've created. So let's just send so it will answer after it's done its work. So let's go back to this. Yeah, actually, so Figma Make. It's the latest new thing from Figma. Basically, the idea here is that your design is the prompt, and your design will be turned into an actual prototype, and you can chat to Figma Make, and you can create things as well. Yep. So yeah, it's basically probably something like Replit, but I guess a bit more coming from the design perspective. Very useful, I guess, for designers wanting to animate their prototypes or create clickable prototypes. Yeah, so basically, if you want to find a AI tool for anything, for example, I want to make I want to turn a JPEG with diagrams into a presentation. I just ask Cloud what kind of AI tools can do this, and it will spit out some recommendations here that I can use. So basically, there seems to be AI tools for just about anything and everything now. Let's go back to this guy. It's still thinking. While that is happening, I just want to show you this deployment thing. So you can actually deploy your prototype, your app, to the internet using this tab. So basically, you just select how many machines you want to use to host this thing, and you go ahead and click the next steps, and it will be published to a URL that you can access, and it will look like this in your browser. Also, you can add databases in Replit, which is pretty powerful. There is a console as well, and some other stuff like, let's see. Yeah, all these like things. It's actually really quite powerful. Okay, it's taking a long time to do. Yeah, what I normally do is I have multiple tabs open, and all working on different projects, so I don't have to wait on stuff like this. I can just go on to do something else. Anyway, that's a high level summary of what's happening in the AI space today. I hope you enjoyed. Peace.